with no further ado, can Izzy from Unilever Ventures come up? Where's this stage? Should we go for Izzy and Hub? Hopefully you'll still be able to hear us if we sit down. Okay, welcome, Isabelle Hemming. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
Thanks, lovely to be here. Thank you for having me. I am an investor at Unilever Ventures. I've been working with consumer brands for more than 10 years now, and now focus on investments in the beauty wellness space. So my job is all about getting to meet great founders in beauty and well-being and help grow their business.
So why is Unilever Ventures so highly thought of, and particularly in beauty? Everybody, and said this, everyone's got a beeline to your front door. What is it? What is it?
To say, I think that there's very focused, obviously, within beauty and well-being. So we're known for being in that space by virtue of our mothership. But I think also we're very separate actually in terms of how we're operating. So we can operate a little bit more like any other VC. To be honest, we're not strategically aligned with the M&A team or anything like that. So it gives us more flexibility in how we think about approaching investments. So ultimately for us, it's all about just finding the right outcome for that company rather than necessarily trying to ultimately exit Unilever. So with that in mind, we partner with anyone that's at that early stage.
And you've got some incredibly famous brands in your stable. Do you want to share some of which ones?
Yes, we do. We've got lots of brands we're very proud to work with. The Inky List in the UK, Trini London, come with some of our very popular UK brands. In the US, personally, I work with Parallel, which is a women's health brand. We're a recent investment in Create on the creatine side. We were invested in Nutrafol, which was one that exited to Unilever. But yes, there's a broad spectrum. There's more than 80 brands in the portfolio today that we're looking for kind of exciting brands to add.
And we're going to come back to Create, because Create as a brand, I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but it ties in with something that when Ender comes out, it's DC 3.0, which we're talking about, which is the evolution in DC brands. So how has your investment thesis changed over the past few years, or the approach you take from, say, 3 years ago to now?
Yeah, I think our thesis has been pretty consistent actually in terms of we're still investing similar tickets, so to $15 million, and we're still very much focused on those areas around commerce and beauty and well-being. I think we have seen shifts in the market for sure. I think a few years ago we saw a lot of kind of piling into the beauty space, and perhaps investors that were less usual in that area, and maybe actually slightly different agendas in terms of kind of growth, profitability, and I think that corrected a little bit more recently. But yeah, for us, it's really about, I think, that core thesis around disruption in beauty and well-being and the opportunity for startups to come through and take real scale quite quickly is still very much there. So that's consistent.
And when we were talking, I was asking you whether it, because lots of people talk about profitability. For you, it wasn't just profitability, was it? For you, you're looking at global growth opportunities, and particularly, growth opportunities and global opportunities.
Yeah, no, I think, so for us, profitability, the stage we're getting involved is very rare. Businesses are profitable, we're coming in the Series A stage. When we think about what we're looking for, it's ultimately, we're thinking further down the road, how can we exit and what is that going to look like? And I think with that lens, being able to demonstrate success in different markets is so important. Yeah, I guess if you're a native US brand, it's a little bit different because you've got so much to go after, but especially for brands coming from the UK and Europe, I think being able to prove out those international markets is key.
Do you want them to already prove it out before you work with them, or do you just want to have an idea that they have?
We're often involved quite early, so I think with Series A stage, it's rare that kind of that fully fledged kind of international market already in action. I think it's understanding what the strategy is and what capabilities of the team are to execute on that. We were having some conversations earlier. It's so difficult, the international piece, to prove it out, but almost if you've got early signs of traction, with early testing you can do, that is all kind of helpful indicators. And then to some extent when you think about an exit, it's not, you don't necessarily need to have done all the markets and everything. It's almost just proving that you've got almost like a playbook you can apply to other markets. I would say the UK overall is quite a tough environment from what we're seeing across the board, and I think that's kind of part of when we're thinking about international expansion, kind of seeing bright spots in other markets and be a helpful piece. It's a very tough market out there, however.
Let's talk about Create. But just who said they've heard about the brand Create? The creating brand, some of you? Yeah, I've always been a big fan. If I look at the brands that I've invested into, they're brands like Space, which is run by man. You could basically run the whole brand yourself if you needed to. Still do a brilliant job. And I'm a big fan of brands like that, where there's operational expertise in the founders, and they have just done everything incredibly efficiently. So I saw the Create deck a few years ago and thought, wow, that's an amazing business. It's like a one-man band, almost bedroom type of business, doing so well. And I thought, he's never going to get investment of a fund. It's too non-standard compared to what other people might expect of his team's hierarchy. But tell us about the Create journey, because incredibly, Unilever Ventures ended up investing in it, which is amazing.
He had, I guess, upgraded from his bedroom to a WeWork, I should say, but that's how we invested. But, and also just, I think Create had now launched on Help, so they're available in the UK as creating government brands. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of traction around creating space more broadly, I think, which is really what got us excited. And it's that, I think that opportunity to really own whole space and our whole kind of compound effectively. If you think about the way Vital Routines may have done with collagen in the past, creating feels like there's potentially that kind of journey to go for. So that was what attracted us to the space up front. But it is unusual that it effectively down and just brought, by the time we invested, one other person into the team. It's a very lean organisation. It's, a lot of that's just outsourced initially, starting to build out that team now, clearly with a bit more funding. But that's, it's one that we're ultimately really excited about. But I think the expectations of having a kind of a full team in an office all the time is really different now. Because that's necessarily what's needed to grow.
Even that creates one very efficient.
Yeah, super new.
And what size is it?
Six today.
And what size revenue they do over?
So there's not there did north 20 last year.
With a team of 6, I know so many brands who are doing so much less with such bigger teams, and I just love to hear stories like that from brands like Create, because it's incredible to show what can be done, isn't it?
Yeah, we're excited to continue to grow that team and put a bit more infrastructure around and to take bits off this plane. But it's been, I think there's proving out concept and being able to scale rapidly with quite little is something we're
Last question. Did lots of people get in touch with you, and how can you catch your attention of what you've been looking for, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking for kind of new brands and new founders and great stories. We do get a lot of those. I think for us, a massive thing is just kind of how do you differentiate yourself in this? It's a really noisy space, right? Beauty and well-being. So just being really clear about what makes you stand out, what makes your kind of proposition different. And then for us, a lot of it, and we really love to get into the detail and understand really what the traction is on DTC, understand that momentum in business today. But really what gets us so excited is how we think about what we can do for the next 3 to 5 years out, and ultimately what that story looks like going forward. So those 3 things I think are probably the most important. We're always happy to connect and love to chat as well.
What's your final piece of advice for everybody in the room who's on the brand side?
I think is just surround yourself with great people. I think that's like the most important thing, and events like this are such a great way to bring groups together.